What do you think the biggest storyline of this Super Bowl is going to be?
Yeah. Fernando, you forgot to mention your takeaway how inspired you were by that gritty performance from Patrick Mahomes with one bad leg, just willing his team to another Super Bowl. But I get it.
Andy Reid.
You don't have to give credit to the quarterback. Unless it's Tom Brady. That's about it. And I saw a lot of national writers giving flowers to Mahomes, and I wonder what Fernando thought. But that's not the storyline. I feel like my storyline.
Got to give
Uh,
the Zebras more credit than you would Mahomes, I think.
yeah, well, you and your brother drink the same Kool Aid. Uh, and
Why
the
is it
Andy
Kool
Reid,
Aid?
I don't know, whatever Mexicans drink. Champorrado. There you
Agua de
go.
Jamaica or
Yeah,
chata.
or chata. There you go.
No, actually, I actually didn't think that the refs. I didn't think they did anything. I just heard a lot of no. I just thought they were terrible all around in both games. Like I thought in the 49er game, like they were also bad. Like I just we're
They,
getting to a boiling
yeah,
point, and I'm sorry to go on this rant, but Joey Bosa is right about something. Like these guys are boiling over. They're starting to get really frustrated. And I'm telling you, we're gonna get to a point where something's gonna happen where a player's gonna get in the official's face and all hell's gonna all hell's gonna break loose. I hope we don't get to that point, but it's starting to boil over. I really have noticed that players are really starting to go after officiating. I think it's time for the NFL to
is that
put
is that your biggest storyline in the Super Bowl week?
no, my bad. I just have to say this. Like, I just think that we're
No.
getting to that boiling point where I think you should put real officials. If the players have to sit down, watch film, study, do the same thing with the referees. You can't bring
Yeah.
in doctors and lawyers and all this stuff to at part time come and referee. Like, it's starting to get really dangerous. I
Yeah.
think, and fans are that do over. Get the hell out of here! Like, that had nothing to do with it because obviously the Bengals defense was able to stop them and everything. But that do over, you can't do that, dude. It's like in one of those, Zach Taylor almost lost it. I think Zach Taylor almost had an aneurysm on the field, like with that play. But
Cre-
I just think
cre-
overall officiating
Credit
has
credit to Zach
has
Taylor because he
been
never
bad.
complained about the refs once, and I
No,
appreciate that. But I also
no.
see the side where like
Oh, but he
I'm a,
did mouth. This shit's rigged. He mouthed in one of those. There was a
well,
video that caught
yeah,
him
well you
mouthing.
leave it on the
I
field,
was
but
like,
you
there
don't
you go.
you not to the presser. But
Yeah.
yeah, I read the poll report and like the way they worded, I'm like, okay, you could kind of get away for that with that, but but that shows how incompetent you are that you couldn't stop the play to like not make sure you don't do what you did.
And then
Uh,
Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, well, we couldn't hear because of the whistles. I'm sure they couldn't hear because of the whistles.
yeah, no,
BS. If you wanted
for
to get
sure.
their attention, you totally could have. Like,
No,
you
yeah,
just
you
let
gotta
the
do a
play
better
be where
job.
to
Like,
go.
like if you're the referee, lay in the middle of the field and be like,
Tackle a
let us
guy.
sort it out first, and then we'll
Tackle
figure it out.
Patrick Mahomes to the ground and be like, okay, we're stopping the play.
Yeah,
No,
or
I'm just kidding.
something. But
No,
that
but
was
but you
crap.
know
But
what I mean? Like, I'm not complaining about I'm just saying we're getting to a boiling point. I think it's getting really dangerous
no, they gotta
to
make
an
some
extent.
changes because I get they want to protect the referees, but they should be held accountable too. And it's so dumb
Yeah.
that players who just like put everything on the line in the biggest game, they can't even vent about it in pressers because they're gonna get fined like Joey Bosa, whatever,
55,000.
55,000. Like you, okay, I get you want to protect them, but you got something else. You got to let these guys vent somewhere. Like that's what media is for, right? What the heck are we doing there? We
Yeah.
can't ask about the biggest part of the game, and you like I can't say anything. What are we doing here? So
You
that,
saw that official. He ran to Joey Bosa and he's like, what'd you say? What'd you say?
yeah,
Joey repeated it and then he flagged him. Like, what kind of crap is that? Like, are you like, you're gonna run over, lo vas a cucar, and then you're gonna flag him for what he did? Get out of here, dude. Like,
yeah.
and I'm telling you, it's a boiling point. It's gonna get worse if Roger Goodell doesn't step in and do anything. But I mean,
But whenever the next CBA is up, they gotta really make that an emphasis. But
don't
whatever.
be a cotton-headed ninny muggins. Do
What
something about it.
what does that even mean?
Have you watched Elf?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, Cottonhead Enigma
Yeah,
Enigmaments, something like that. But
be careful what you're saying.
no, I
Uh,
know, but
uh,
it's just dangerous,
okay,
and
let's just let's move on
I
because
hope
we gotta
they
move on
resolve
here.
it.
But
All right, what would you take, or what do you think the biggest
yeah, I
storyline is
think
of the
that was
Super Bowl?
better than this segment. But and the Andy Reid Bowl because it's a little ironic because for the longest Andy Reid and the Eagles couldn't get over the hump, and they didn't win a Super Bowl, and they got to like I think like 3 or 4 straight NFC championship games. They kept losing until they got that one against the Patriots, and then after that, it was a lot of disappointment. And the funny thing now, the Eagles are back in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. Like, are they going to be going every single year? Same like Andy Reid. Now it's his third Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So it's a little ironic that he's going back to the Super Bowl for his third time with the Chiefs. I mean, with the Chiefs, obviously against the Eagles, who are now here back for a second time, potentially winning a second Super Bowl after not winning anything for like 60 years. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good storyline because I think Andy Reid did a lot of great things for that city, and it's a shame how he went out. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, this guy, he chokes in the biggest games." Now he's always going here. Like it feels like every other year, 5 straight in AFC Championship games, and then 3 Super Bowl appearances. So it's funny how long he's come. And it's the same thing kind of with Doug Peterson. Like, you do well, and then you just really suck for a year or two, and people don't even want to touch you, and they forget all the success you had. So credit to the Chiefs for taking Andy Reid, and look at how it's paying off, and maybe it might pay off with the Jaguars because after Doug Peterson, like, you won a Super Bowl, they quickly forgot, and nobody wanted to hire this guy. So that's kind of a full story there for Andy Reid, I thought.
A certain team had fired their head coach, and when certain people asked, "Why didn't you guys go after Andy Reid? He's too old. We're gonna go in a different direction." There's your too old right there. He's
Think
still
another
hanging on.
team.
And this other coach is he's the quarterback's coach. The coach that they ended up hiring is a quarterback's coach somewhere else. So they've already been through two head coaches since that hire. So that too old. There you go. So definitely interesting. I'm gonna go with the Kelce Bowl. Obviously, their podcast is awesome. I saw a clip of it where uh, Jason Kelce's daughter goes, "Hi, Uncle Travi," and then he goes, "Hi, Princess." It's so funny to see both of them on a podcast together. It's cool. I think it's smart that they did it. I can't wait to see if they do episodes these upcoming weeks or not leading up to the game. Like Dan Dago told me, he's like, if it was you and me, like I wouldn't talk to you like for the next 2 weeks. I'm
Dude.
like, oh really? He's like, yeah, no, I couldn't talk to you.
Yeah, they should get like an episode with Travis and a cousin, and then an episode with Jason and a
That'd
cousin.
be
Just
awesome.
separate them, have two different kind of
Exactly.
episodes to hear both of their point of views.
Exactly. That definitely. You know what? Could this also be the Tyreek Hill is kicking himself in the ass bowl? Like, could we maybe count that one or no? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm never gonna really understand the situation. He had something really good, and but also too maybe they weren't gonna pay him what he
Yeah.
wanted because like his salary cap was a problem. So
And everybody was getting paid more and more, and he's like,
yeah,
"Hey, I want a new contract. I
but he
want a
kept
new contract."
complaining that he wasn't getting fed enough. He didn't like the system, and it was like, okay, that's not it. It's the
Yeah.
money. I can live with that, but he might be kicking himself if he cares about winning more. I don't know.
You never know.